Our first guest tonight, if she's still here, is a United States Senator from Massachusetts. Her children's book, Pinky Promises, is available now. Please welcome back to the show, Senator Elizabeth Warren, everybody. I'm so happy to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah.
I'm just so glad to be with people who are not the people I'm with in Washington all the time.
You did us a favor. You were a second guest when we went into lockdown via Zoom. And the issue that time
I had a table lamp next to me, staring into the lights. And
it was right. It was early days where none of us knew how to Zoom. You had a dog that you had to lock your dog in a bedroom.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. We have scratches on the back of the door saying, I could do better on Seth Meyers. Yeah, I know.
So it's nice that we're past that. And now, obviously, you mentioned Washington. I do want to get right into it. Right now, President Biden is trying to institute the things he ran on, expanding Medicare, childcare, clean energy. These are things that poll well with the American people, and yet it seems like for those of us that pay attention, that it's moving very slowly. Do you feel like the Democrats are doing a good enough job telling people what's in this bill? Because it seems like we all know the number, $3.5 trillion. It seems like the Republicans and the opponents of this bill have done a good job, and maybe the media has helped them make that what we think about. Right. But can you talk about what's in this bill and why it's important?
So this is not about numbers. Think of it this way. Starting more than a century ago, America started investing in our country and ourselves. So we built roads and bridges, we built power grids and sewers and water lines. We opened up public schools and public colleges and universities. We made those investments because it was a way to make us collectively a richer country and a way to create opportunity person by person throughout this nation. And then we kind of went into coasting about 40 years ago or so, and we just kind of slowed way down on those investments, and the world changed around us. So now we find ourselves, here we are in 2021, we need to make some big changes. And here's the exciting part. We've got our toes right on the line to make big structural change in this nation. Childcare, so that every parent will have a chance to be able to go to work. Raise the wages of every childcare worker and preschool teacher in America. Home and community-based care. Expanding Medicare so people get vision, dental, and hearing coverage. And the really, really big one is not just taking a nibble, not just a pat, but we got to take a big, hard swing at fighting back in the climate crisis. All of that is there.
So, again, good news. That seems great to me. It seems great to everybody here, probably most of the people watching. I'm afraid Senators Manchin and Sinema probably aren't watching tonight. It strikes me that you have these two people, right, who are, they have all the power right now. And those...
No, they don't have it all. No.
Well, they could stop it. If they wanted to, they could stop it. I mean the power that way. And it does seem like, again, I'm watching from a distance, but it does seem like they are pretty firm in their position that they don't want to get this passed. So what is the way to make them change their mind? Is it to apply political pressure and try to sell the American people and why this is a good idea?
That's a big part of it. Look, this is a democracy. And part of this is, remember, everything that we're talking about here is really, really popular. The American people get it. Washington lives in its own bubble. A bubble, I should say, that is deeply infected by lobbyists and the folks who are always trying to, they're there for the billionaires, they're there for the giant corporations. But the rest of America, Democrat, Republican, Independent, they get it. These are the investments we need to make if we are going to be a strong nation going forward, if we're going to be a country that instead of narrowing opportunity, actually expands opportunity. So to the extent that we do something besides talk about a number, which I say this is a numbers nerd, makes a lot of people fall asleep or just get aggravated or watch it like it's some kind of race. If we actually talk about the things that this is about, the kinds of changes it will make in people's lives, the kind of opportunity that we are about to create together, I think that is how we get it done. And by the way, we need to do that now.
So here's the thing. Not only do you have to do it now, but it also strikes me, let's say you get it done.
Say that again.
Let's say you can get it done,
Okay,
but
I'm
then
liking that.
how quickly, because I think that
Let's
one
do
of the
it.
things that's frustrating, people are frustrated by both parties, is the speed in which you actually can show results. So if you get it done, it seems very important that you would be able to show to the American people, certainly before the midterm elections, hey, look, we made your lives better. We controlled government, the Democratic Party, and we had this 2-year period of time where you gave us the reins, and you know, people are going to go to the polls. You're going to have to be able to show them that you made their lives better. Can you do this quickly? Can childcare be something that people see before they go back to the polls?
We have to. And childcare actually is the perfect example. We cannot take a sort of leisurely, yes, we're going to have childcare done, and tell the mamas of 2 years old and 3-year-olds that we'll have this done by the time your kid is 6 or 7. You know, we can't do that. We have to say we are going to bust our fannies to get this stuff and get it delivered and create the child care slots, raise the wages of the child care workers. Remember, though, before you giggle about whether or not we can do this, we did it with vaccinations. We did it with the child tax credit. We did it with those $1,200 checks that we put in people's pockets for relief. We didn't do it with rental relief. We handed out to the states and said, hey, take your time, work this out. It did not work. So we better learn the lesson from that, and we better deliver big, and deliver now.
Well, I think it would help a lot of families, and I really do hope you're successful with that. We'll be right back with more from Senator Elizabeth Warren.